assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Before the Bell podcast, your source for the latest WWE and professional wrestling news. My name is Earl Nieto. Today I have my co-host, who will be with me along this great ride, Miguel Lucero. Miguel, what a night.
Yeah, for real, man. That was insane. Hands down, probably greatest SummerSlam.
Yeah, definitely. So real quick, for those of you watching, we want to thank you, or for those of you listening, for whatever reason our video is not working today. So thank you for listening in to us as we upload this onto Facebook and Instagram here very soon. Quick recap of the night: WWE SummerSlam 2024 held in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, where we saw 7 matches happen tonight. 4 of those, correct me if I'm wrong, were championship matches.
Yeah, 4. 4 title changes.
4 title changes, so I believe those 5 championship matches. We can do the quick fact checking as we go there. Maybe 6 championship matches, what I'm being told. So just kicking off real quick, we'll go down the list of how the night rolled out, and then we're gonna give you our instant reaction to each of those matches. Try to keep it under half an hour if we possibly can. We're coming to you immediately after SummerSlam, as well as the SummerSlam press conference. So let's jump right into it. So Miguel, the first match we got to watch tonight was Liv Morgan, who was the champion, versus the returning Rhea Ripley. In this match, we had 2 primary subplots: the love triangle between Dominic Mysterio and a cat and mouse game between Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. Obviously, Rhea Ripley went out on injury for quite a while. I think it was about 2 months or so, with an injured shoulder, and then returned 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw to a Dominic Mysterio on top of Liv Morgan. Miguel, what was your instant reaction on this Liv Morgan Rhea Ripley match that we saw?
Just mind blown, man. We thought it was gonna go a certain way, and it kind of did, but they tweaked it a little on us and made us think differently for a few seconds there. So yeah, man, just mind blowing.
Yeah, so spoiler alert, just so you know, there will be spoilers on this show. So if you're not into the spoilers, I suggest you click out of this show now. But if you're into the spoilers, we're all here for it as well. If you're a wrestling fan, thanks for listening. If you're not a wrestling fan, I guess thanks for listening as well. I mean, I don't know how you stumbled upon us, but spoiler alert, Liv Morgan did defeat Rhea Ripley via pinfall to retain the title. In this match, we saw Dominic Mysterio escort Rhea Ripley out. Throughout the match, he kind of was quiet. We didn't really see him much. And then at the end, a chair was introduced. Dominic Mysterio interfered and convinced Rhea Ripley not to hit Liv Morgan with the chair, as she would be disqualified, not win the title. Kind of convinced Rhea Ripley that was not the way to go. Then while the ref was distracted on the other end with Dominic Mysterio once again, backtrack a couple seconds, Rhea Ripley gets hit with a Oblivion from a distracted Rhea Ripley, and then turns around. Dominic Mysterio rolls to the other side of the ring, slides the chair back into the ring, and
I think we all thought he threw it to Rhea.
Yeah, so we definitely expected Rhea to pick it up while Dominic was distracted, given the twist that was already happening. Well, Culture Shock happened and Liv Morgan hit an Oblivion onto the chair to Rhea Ripley and pinned her 1, 2, 3. That's not the shocking part of the match, though.
No.
The shocking part was at the end of it, where Dominic is walking out with Liv Morgan out of the ring, and they stop and they plant a big kiss.
Yeah.
I will be putting, hopefully, the video up on our social media. Hopefully I can attach it to this one as well. But yeah, so that was our first match. Moving into our second match, we saw our second championship match of the night, which was Sami Zayn, who was the current champion, versus Braun Breaker.
Just phenomenal. Braun Breaker's I think he's gonna break out. I think he's got the skills, he's got the moves, he's got the intensity. I see big things for him.
Yeah, so this match once again also started off very, very quick. Immediately after the bell rang, if you blinked and you opened your eyes a second later, you found Braun Breaker with his shoulder into the steel turnbuckle on the steel ring post, I guess is what it's called. Sami Zayn tried to capitalize on that with the haluva kick. It was a very back and forth match, like we've seen before between Braun Breaker and Sami Zayn. These two have incredible chemistry. I think the highlight of this match was the Cleveland crowd getting behind Braun Breaker, who is the obvious heel in this.
Yeah.
Hearing them bark and hearing them do their thing and just supporting Braun Breaker 100% leads me to believe that there will be a role change for Braun Breaker. In either case, I'm all for it 100%.
Oh yeah. Regardless of his role, he's going to be a hell of a champion.
Yeah, this match did seem to go a little short considering what they've been given last time. I think last time we saw a good 20-25 minute match between both of them. This time I believe it was a 20-minute match, 15-20 minutes.
20, yeah.
Around there. Regardless of the time, though, I mean, it was action-packed the entire time. Spoiler alert once again, Braun Breaker defeats Sami Zayn to win the title, the Intercontinental title. Cleanly in a well-deserved, very long overdue championship run that he desperately needs outside of NXT. I mean, he came up to the main roster and hasn't really done much. He's competed a couple times for the title, but never could get his hands on it. I think him picking up his first title in Cleveland will do wonders for his career.
Absolutely.
Moving along, we have our third championship match of the night. So we had 3 championship matches in a row where we had the United States Championship, Logan Paul, who was the current champion, versus LA Knight. I was hoping to hear my daughter yell, yeah, but that obviously didn't happen. We are recording pretty late tonight, so she might be snoring over there. In this match, it's a typical LA Knight match. You get the crowd involved. No pun intended there from Miguel, I think. Coming out, we see star-studded entrances. I mean, just with Logan Paul coming out, we saw Machine Gun Kelly. I don't know who else we saw coming out.
Yeah, coming out, I think it was just him and Machine Gun, and then he had his little entourage there in the crowd.
Yeah, so speaking of that entourage, like we said, this was a typical LA Knight match and a typical Logan Paul match. Regardless of both of those characters, we have both agreed that this was probably our favorite match of the night.
Oh, hands down.
It was very star-studded, very action-packed, moved along, and there was a point in the match where Logan Paul... There's 2 points in the match where Logan Paul does Logan Paul things, both good and bad. We've seen Logan Paul jump from the turnbuckle with Prime in his hand onto the announce table. We've seen Logan Paul jump from the turnbuckle to the announce table with a camera in his hand. This time we saw Logan Paul actually use his skills where he...
See if you can even explain it, because, I mean, Trips couldn't even come up with a name for it. So
in this match, we saw Logan Paul fly. He was standing on the inside of the ring, facing LA Knight, who was on the outside of the ring, closest to the entrance ramp. Logan Paul then catapults himself to the top of the rope, but in doing so, he also turned to where he was facing away from the entrance and performed a moonsault onto LA Knight. Does that best describe?
I mean, yeah, man. I think he was on the apron, though. I don't think he was on the inside of the ring when he jumped up.
I'm not sure.
If I remember right, I mean, I was shocked and impressed, and I honestly neither here nor there. The move was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Logan's a stud. I personally don't like saying that because never was a huge Logan fan when he was doing his YouTube and his boxing, but coming into WWE, he's been impressive.
Yeah, so while Miguel is trying to buy some time, I am trying to find that quick video.
Yeah, sorry, I got a little distracted trying to help him find that.
Yeah, I think I clicked on the wrong link. That's the wrong Logan Paul video.
Yeah, that might not be it.
Let's do highlight.
Yeah, we might find something better there. But yeah, man, Logan, I mean, he's got huge spots in pretty much every match he's had. Like Earl said, I mean, he's jumped off of turnbuckles with camera in hand, with a Prime bottle in hand. Everything that this kid does, he's hitting. There hasn't been anything where he's missed and made you say, "Oh, that's what we expect from somebody as green as him."
So to correct Miguel, and I'm not really a big fan of correcting people, but to correct Miguel, Logan Paul was inside the ring.
Oh, yeah, he was.
He jumped onto the top rope and turned and then did a somersault onto a waiting LA Knight on the outside. Carrying on into the match, Logan Paul then directs his entourage to give him some brass knucks. That entourage just happened to be a Machine Gun Kelly, who I've never personally liked his music. I also personally don't like his face, but that's my own personal opinion. Yeah, so that's my own personal opinion. So Logan Paul then gently taps LA Knight on the head with those titanium brass knucks, which is kind of ironic, I guess. Titanium brass knucks.
Yeah.
So I guess titanium knucks is what we want to call them. Regardless, Logan Paul was able to
set up for
clear his head and recover quickly to where he hits a BFT on on Logan Paul. For those of you who don't know, BFT does stand for blunt force trauma. In case you didn't know that.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm assuming you did. But those of you that didn't know, now you do. For the 1, 2, 3, LA Knight wins his first WWE Championship gold during his run, which once again has been super long overdue. Moving on into, I believe that's our 5th match. What is this? 4th match. That is another championship match, being Bayley the champion and Nia Jax. This one was super underwhelming. I wasn't too enthused about the match going into it. Walking out of the match, I'm still not enthused. There was one highlight of the match where I thought we were going to see Tiffany Stratton use Tiffy time to cash in. But Bayley thwarted that opportunity, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, the only other big spot I saw in that match was, Bayley with the delayed powerbomb on Nia Jax. That's a lot of mass to hold up for Bayley, and she held her. She held her a good 3 seconds before putting her back down. And it was, probably the most impressive thing in that whole match.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, that match was super underwhelming. Needless to say, Bayley did lose to a double annihilator.
Yeah.
To Nia Jax. So Nia Jax is now the SmackDown Women's Champion.
Yeah.
And we should see what happens there with Tiffy holding the briefcase still and Nia Jax being her best friend. So a little drama brewing, I think. And
do we put that in air quotes, best friend?
Yeah. Best friends in air quotes. Speaking of best friends. And no, I'm not talking about you and me. I am talking about CM Punk and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
This one is more personal than a bitter divorce court.
It's a good way to put it.
So in this match, obviously, CM Punk returned Survivor Series, which a lot of people were not happy about. Drew McIntyre feels he's been shunned because of the spotlight cast on CM Punk. And who else can make this world perfect? Seth freaking Rollins.
Seth freaking Rollins, the Visionary.
The Visionary is the special guest referee, which he called it pretty good down the line.
Yeah, I mean, he's played pretty unbiased throughout.
Even at the end where he caught the GTS from CM Punk, I mean, it still wasn't a biased call. It was CM Punk had some words for Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins decided to put CM Punk in his place while wearing CM Punk's bracelet that he picked up off the mat. Some of those words were very, very sharp towards CM Punk.
Yeah.
Needless to say, CM Punk let his guard down and picked up a low blow after. So CM Punk delivered a GTS to Seth Rollins. He then turned around and picked up a low blow from Drew McIntyre, waiting for him in the corner. Few seconds after that, Drew McIntyre hits a Claymore on CM Punk. 1, 2, 3.
It was a slow count, but I mean, Seth was still kind of woozy. You can't really say that Seth didn't want to make that call, didn't want to make that count. Still Seth said what he was going to do, and he did what he did.
Yeah,
He
Seth definitely
said he was going to stay unbiased. He was going to control the ring. He was going to control the match. And in the end, he really did.
Yeah, 100%. After the match was over, Drew McIntyre stood tall over CM Punk, where Drew McIntyre then decided to reach down and take off that bracelet that CM Punk had finally got, the one that says Larry and AJ, and put it on. Now, in the press conference, Drew McIntyre said, "We're done." We'll see if that's true come Monday night.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Moving on, we have our first major championship match being the World Heavyweight Championship. In this one, we have Damian Priest and Gunther. What do you have to say about this one?
Oh man, wow. They, you knew it was going to be heavy hitting, and they delivered on heavy hit after heavy hit. Priest, we saw a little more aggression from Priest than we normally do, even though he, the Punisher of Judgment Day, which might get to that here in a second. We saw more aggressive Damian Priest overall. He opened up Gunther's chest with a slap.
Yeah, definitely one of Damian Priest's best matches he's ever put on.
For sure.
Especially with two up-and-comers. I mean, both those superstars are super, super young. Gunther obviously is, I think, 2 years on the main roster. And Priest is right behind him or right in front of him. I mean, they both have around 2 years on the main roster. And they both shot to stardom. I mean, we saw Damian Priest being the world champion since WrestleMania, 119 days, not too shabby.
Not bad.
We also have the Ring General, who is like God's chosen one in WWE right now. I mean, he held the Intercontinental Championship for 2 years, and then went on to win King of the Ring, which earned him this championship match. Which he earned every second of the championship match to lead to him winning up until the end.
Yeah, we surprise.
Yeah, so like Miguel said, surprise. We once again did see the Judgment Day. Obviously, we would see the Judgment Day come out because their leader, or presumed leader, is fighting for his life at this point. Finn Balor shows up, supposed best friend of Damian Priest.
Yeah, I mean, he's hyping him up. He's trying to get the crowd into it. Priest goes down. He's sitting there, slam the mat, trying to get him back up.
Yeah. So, and then Finn Balor hopped up on the apron to try to cheer on Damian Priest. Gunther did not like that. Knocked Finn Balor off. Turn around, caught a razor's edge from Damian Priest, and then turned around and got up and caught a South of Heaven.
Some monster South of Heaven.
Yeah, definitely one of the best ones I've seen from him. And then for some reason, I mean, we obviously know what's going on there.
Yeah.
He rolled Gunther's lifeless body closer to the ropes and went for the 3 count, to where I think the shock of the night.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Definitely shock of the night. We get a 1, we get a 2, and then we get Finn Balor pulling Gunther's foot onto the rope, breaking the 3 count. All of this actions ultimately led to Gunther recovering and hitting Damian Priest with the powerbomb, and then squeezing the life out of him with a rear naked choke.
Yeah.
End of the match, Gunther defeats Priest via submission to win the World Heavyweight title, which was a absolute banger at this point. And then finally, Cody Rhodes, Solo Sikoa, Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Championship. A match that Cody Rhodes is familiar with, as that is how he won the WWE Championship back at WrestleMania against my tribal chief. I think Miguel's as well.
Man, I gotta acknowledge him now, man. He's after this. I guess we can call him a bloodline as well. Have done the dastardly things that they've done. You gotta acknowledge the one and only original tribal chief.
Yeah, the OTC invented this match with the final boss, The Rock, back at WrestleMania time. For some reason, this match was reintroduced here at SummerSlam. I was all for it. Solo Sikoa looked very, very dominant on his own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely can contend for the main event like he did today. He held his own in a major WPLE against a very notable contender named Cody Rhodes, or notable opponent.
Both opponent.
And Cody Rhodes.
Champion.
As Cody Rhodes is walking out, he runs into one of the four horsemen, Arn Anderson, where Arn tells him that the champion still had friends around, which kind of got our pot stirring as to who was going to show up to help out Cody Rhodes. We obviously knew Tama Tonga was going to show up, Tonga Loa was going to show up, the Ruthless
Werewolf.
The Ruthless Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu. We knew he was going to be around. Ultimately, those cards played out. Ultimately, we knew Cody Rhodes was going to need some help. His first help being Kevin Owens.
Yep.
Kind of expected that one. Second one being Randy Orton.
Yep. Yeah.
Expected that one. We were unsure about the third. We had a feeling, but when it drug on and drug on and drug on, we thought maybe not. At least I thought that.
Yeah, I was right there with you, man. I questioned what, 2-3 different people.
Yeah, we definitely had different ideas running through our minds. And then Roman Reigns' music hit. The crowd in Cleveland went crazy. Roman Reigns, and I know you were talking a little bit of shit about Randy Orton coming out and taking his time to the ring.
Yeah.
Might as well sign autographs and hug the kids and kiss the babies, and might as well have done that. But Roman Reigns did the same exact thing.
I think he took a little more time. I think
so too.
I think he definitely soaked in that crowd.
100%. 100%.
Rightfully so.
I think it was okay though with Roman Reigns because it was more of a shock.
Yes.
Especially to both Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa. They didn't expect him to show up. He showed up. As he approached the ring, my mind started racing as to what if he sides with Solo Sikoa?
I mean, he slid in the ring. He looked like he was going straight to Cody.
Yeah.
The way he slid in, his body was all pointed towards Cody, and then.
Yeah, so definitely looked like he was going to attack Cody Rhodes, as that was the man who dethroned him back in WrestleMania. But instead, he turns around and Superman punches Solo Sikoa. Both wind up in opposite corners. We hear the giant "Ow" from Roman Reigns. We see a spear. And then we see Roman look at Cody Rhodes, leave the ring, and make sure that Cody Rhodes pinned Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
As Roman Reigns walked up the ramp, got to the curve, you pointed out that Roman Reigns pointed at the ring and then pointed at the 3 letters on his shirt, the OTC, which we found out means Original Tribal Chief, which only leads us to believe that there will be a Bloodline Civil War happening very soon, which we will probably push out an episode on the Bloodline sometime in the near future. If Miguel can't do it, I could definitely push one out sometime soon, just to give you some kind of backstory on the Bloodline, so whenever we do talk about them at one of the pay-per-views or premium live events, it's not, well, who the heck is the Bloodline? Like I said, Cody Rhodes defeats Solo Sikoa by pinfall to retain the title. Overall, you said it, one of the best Survivor or SummerSlams we've watched. Definitely one of the best premium live events in recent time that we've watched. This Hunter, Triple H, Paul Levesque era that you want to call it is definitely thriving. When you could put on a premium live event and leave out names like Jey Uso, Chad Gable, Wyatt Six, names like that, you're kind of doing something right. When you have a 5 championship match card, 6 championship match card, 7 because there's only one non-championship match, so 7 championship match. No, it'd be 6 because there's 7 matches on the card.
All 7 were titles.
Nope, there was one missing. Seth Rollins.
You're right.
So yeah, so when you have 6 championship matches on a 7 match card, you're doing something right. So yeah, so Miguel, that's gonna wrap up our episode. I mean, I said we'd keep us here around 30 minutes. We're at right now 31:53. What are your final thoughts?
Final thoughts, man. I'm still just in awe of the entire event. I mean, each match went 30 plus. You have six matches, 5 of which were title matches before our main event. They all went 30. And then our main event, you know, we started looking at it. We're trying to break down time, and we said it's going to have 45 minutes to an hour, depending on what Triple H wanted for it. And there for a while, it was kind of, I don't want to say stale, but we kind of started to wonder how long this match was going to go before we finally saw something along the lines of Bloodline rules. Everything was, regular match. And then it was like fireworks went off, and then fireworks went off again. And then they kind of lulled us back to, what are we going to see here? And Jacob hit more fireworks, and then the grand finale.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you said it at the beginning. Definitely one of the best shows that we've watched in a while. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. I mean, we went down the card. We gave our immediate reactions to it. Granted, we're doing the tribal chief some injustice. But, I mean, when you're Roman Reigns and you're sitting at 1,300 days as champion, 1,316 days as champion, your name kind of speaks for itself. I mean, there's not much we can give it there. But like I said, keep your eyes out on our social medias, on your social media feeds, for this episode, which should be dropping late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Keep your eye out for later in the week where I will possibly team up again with Miguel to put out a Bloodlines episode.
See what we can make happen there.
See what we can make happen there. Definitely want to get it out before this Friday for sure. And until then, I mean, Miguel, thank you for being here.
Yeah, man. It was
Thanks
great.
for showing up. I hosted my first wrestling party here at my house. Obviously, we finally got one of our episodes out with Before the Bell. You can find us October 12th, I believe it is. We'll have to see how that works out. In Mountain Air, doing a live show if we're available. I'm starting to think we won't be available that day because I might have a wedding. So we'll have to see how that lays out and how that works out. But until then, you guys have a great night and welcome to professional wrestling.